Oh my God, your poor dad.
All right. Welcome back to Your Poor Dad. You can't choose your sisters, but you can choose your podcast. So thank you for joining us and being the fourth Brant sister.
Thank you so much for joining us.
And being the fourth Brant sister. Thank you.
Because I am actually the first Brant sister.
And I'm the second.
And I'm the third.
And you all are our
The fourth.
stepsisters.
The collective fourth.
So they're our fourth, but then
They're our fourth, and when they refer someone to the podcast,
They-
that person is a stepsister.
and then they don't become the fourth until they refer another person.
Until
Is that
they're
how that works?
initiated.
Yeah, and then they become the third. And then if they do them... So if
No
they
one can be the third.
Bailey's
I'm
the
the third.
third.
What are you doing, taking applications to replace me?
No, it's just like joining you in your ranks.
How dare.
So...
I don't
that
think
brings-
that's how... Honey,
Yes,
do you want
honey.
to plug your damn phone in or no?
Oh, so speaking of stepsisters, I think this is a great time to tell you guys that you need to recruit more stepsisters, because the only way we're going to grow this podcast is with your help and TikTok. So those are our two marketing tools right now. And if you have any other marketing ideas, maybe just throw them to your girls. You know, you guys are very smart and you have great ideas.
Yeah, we would love to hear any and all of your ideas.
Yeah.
We just want to make this as successful as it can be, and we want to give you guys what you want.
Yeah. We're just here to please you. Okay?
And to get our poor dad
We're
to
like-
Soldier Field.
We're like your ex-boyfriend, but better. We're here to please you instead of not please you.
I don't know how that tracks, but
Okay, anyways. Whew.
Okay.
Okay.
Whatever. So, guys, how was your week?
My week was great.
Ooh, great. Why?
Yeah, remember last week my week was awful?
Oh, we all remember.
Yeah. My week was really good. I've been very busy with work. And I'm on a dating spree. And last weekend I was on a date, and another guy that I'd previously been on a date with was at the same place I was on a date with this other guy. And that seems to be a theme.
I was going to say, I feel like, why does that happen to you often?
Austin is a small town, honey. I didn't know how small this big town was.
Well, how did you maneuver that, or did you not?
I just sat my little happy ass in the corner of the bar, and I just prayed. I said, "Dear God, make me a bird so I can fly far away from here." And I just started like praying and rocking back and forth, and then I never saw.
And then you said, "Do you want to go dangle?"
I said, he taught me how to read, so I'm gonna teach you how to dangle.
Well, one time I ran into someone at a bar that I was like dating, but the funny thing was I was at the bar and I was texting him to come meet me there so he could like, oh, come meet my sister, like we're out at this bar. And then it was like hours and he's like, sorry, I'm with my brother. And I was like, okay, fine, I'm like gonna go home. Then he walks into the bar and I was like, oh my God, Paige, like that's the guy that was gonna come meet us. And he's like with a girl. And then he went to the back patio and like she had her legs like draped over him, like sad saddle.
Both legs, like completely
Why
over
would
him.
he
Like
go to the bar?
The same bar that I said to come meet us at.
No, remember we were not at that bar. That was the last bar that we had just randomly decided to go to that night.
No, because I was gonna Uber myself home and then like I was like, okay, whatever. Now I'm not meeting him, so I'll just like stay for another drink. Who cares? And then he came in with this girl, and I was like, what? What? Bless him.
Wow.
Wishing him well.
And then I was about to go walk up to him and say, "Hi, I'm Bailey's sister." And Bailey said, "I swear to God, if you do that, I will be so mad at you. You will not be my sister anymore."
Yeah, I was like, just relax. There's
Yeah,
no
that is-
need to be like,
An obnoxious bull.
yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
speaking of dating, guys, I finally went on a date.
Yay! How was it?
It was great. I'm not going to speak on it too much because it actually was awesome and I would like to go on another date. So we're just going to keep all that to myself.
Okay, I respect your privacy.
You should, if you continue to see this person, you should just like give a 1-word update of like, great.
Ooh, wait, that's a good idea. Let's make that a new... Okay, so I went on a date last night, so I'll give an update. You give an update on yours.
Great.
That was going to be my word.
I already said it like twice.
Wonderful.
I'm going to say mine was wonderful.
Hopeful.
Yeah, actually mine was hopeful.
Aw, that's sweet.
Sweet.
That's so sweet.
Yeah.
Grand.
The other thing that I have going on in my life right now, besides going on that one date, so for all of our listeners out there, I have this, I think it's like a 1950s record player. It's like a big record player radio piece of furniture. And the speakers blew out a couple months ago. And so I decided this week I'm going to learn how to rewire new speakers for this old record player. And it's been more of a task than I thought it was going to be, but I've been talking to our poor dad.
Right.
And he makes it sound so simple. So I'll call him when I'm not at the record player. He'll be like, oh, all you need to do is this, and I'm listening. I can absolutely do that. And then I get behind the record player. I'm like, I swear this looks
Okay,
exactly
why don't you just
different.
call him when you're in front of the record player?
Because he's always working. And
Okay, honey, well, give us an update.
I
when-
FaceTimed him, and he was on his way home, and I said, honey, you cannot be driving and FaceTiming at the
Wait,
same damn
can
time.
you
You
just-
call me later.
This is frustrating. Just Google it.
I think it's different. Anyways, bottom line, I think I have all of the things. I ordered the speakers, ordered the wires. We're going to strip some things, rewire some things, and I think it's going to work. And stay tuned. Probably by next week, I'll have like an update if it was successful or not. So hopefully it is.
You're like Sydney Sweeney. You know how she redoes the Jeep or the Bronco?
Oh, I wish I could redo it.
And it's like, pick me, pick me.
That's not pick me if that's her actual interest.
I think
Yeah.
you're gonna end up like that damn cat from Christmas Vacation. You're gonna
Electrocute.
get to.
No, I thought so too. But Dad said that you can't electrocute yourself on stereo wires. So
Oh, that's nice to know.
it's good to know.
Yeah, but maybe also Google that. Don't take our word for it. If you're
Yeah, this is
Stripping
not.
some
This is
stereo
only
wires.
advice for Paige, not for the.
Yeah, just
we're
for
not
me.
here to be liable for your actions.
no.
Oh, I also forgot to say that it is my countdown for my boobs.
Boobs, 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 boobs.
Boobs countdown. I'm really excited. So we're recording this on the 11th, and I am getting my boobs on the 19th.
Wow.
And my sister is gonna pick me up, and we're gonna vlog it, I think.
I think we should.
So I've already started taking some video. I went to my pre-op appointment all by my lonesome, and
But what do you want me to do? Hold your hand?
I don't know. I just am like, this is a big deal. Like, should someone else be here to like catch the things that like I'm not catching? You know, like I'm literally getting I'm not just getting a breast augmentation. I'm getting a lift. So they have to like cut up my titties.
But what is Paige gonna do? She's
Yeah.
not gonna cut him up.
Well,
She
I
doesn't
don't
need to
know.
see the
I'm
blueprints.
Not saying, I'm not looking at Paige. I'm just saying, like, shouldn't my mom be here?
Well,
or someone?
I'm going to be there when they're doing the real things. They're going to be telling me, hey, things are going well, blah, blah, blah. Or, hey, whenever she's out, make sure you do X, Y, Z.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, it scared me because I got onto breast aug recovery talk, and don't go on there because everyone there has no pain tolerance, and they're like, it literally felt like I was dying. And I was asking my nurse about that, and she's like, no, that's like generally not the vibe.
I feel
I feel like I'm going to be fine.
I was going to say, I feel like we all have like a pretty high pain tolerance.
Yeah.
Like whenever, I haven't had my boobs done, but whenever I had my wisdom teeth taken out and the oral surgeon was like, oh, it's going to feel worse before it gets better. Mm-hmm. And I was in so much pain. And I'm like, he said it's going to get worse before it gets better. And then I go back and he's like, you must be like on a scale of 1 to 10, you must be like a 12 because you have 4 dry sockets. And I was like, well, you said if it's going to get worse before it gets better. And he's like, okay, you should have been at like a 5 max. Anyways, so
I think I'm going to be fine.
you'll be fine.
And like I was looking at like my medicine and stuff, and like she's like, this is, you get like oxycodone, but like she's like, you only really need that if it's like the last like resort. And I'm like, okay, that's gonna be, I feel like I'll never take it because like I'm the type of person where it's like, okay,
It
what's
could
your
get
pain?
worse.
What's your pain level? I'm like, well, my head is still attached to my body.
I feel like
so-
that's because of our poor dad. He's like, but are you alive? Are you
Yeah.
breathing? Yeah. So it's not that
Barely.
bad.
Yeah.
When I was in Colorado with my friend, I broke my wrist, but like they gave me the x-rays of someone who broke their leg. So when I went to my doctor to get the real cast on, not just like the sugar tongue cast, whatever it's called, they were like, well, do you think it's really broken? And I was like, probably. I don't know. Like, I was there forever. And then the doctor was like, okay, well, let me just like squeeze it. And I was like, okay. And he's like squeezing my broken bone.
Squeeze your broken.
And he was like, well, does this hurt? And I was like, well, it doesn't feel good. And he was like, well, come back in a week and like, let's see. And it's like swollen and purple. And I come back in a week and he's like, oh yeah, that's broken. So I just had a broken wrist for a week.
That's funny.
Jeez,
Yeah.
freaking ways.
Hilarious.
Yeah.
Wait, what is that?
Oh, it is time for our Bears update.
Yay!
Okay, I am a little excited for this one because the drama.
Okay.
So much drama. Okay, so there's drama between the Bears and Roquan Smith. So Roquan is a linebacker for the Bears.
Okay.
But I guess he's been on the PUP list. And for those of you who don't know what the PUP list is,
Me.
it's the physically unable to perform. So during during training camp, he's been on this PUP list, apparently due to injury, but the head coach refused to specify what that injury was. Kind of weird, right?
Right.
Right.
Sus.
Well, so then apparently Roquan and the Bears have been trying to negotiate this new contract deal, right? He wants a lot of money. They haven't settled yet, whatever. Well, this week, he puts out a statement demanding a trade, okay? And he accuses the Bears of taking advantage of him and not negotiating in good faith, that's not good, okay? The day after that statement, all of a sudden, the Bears take him off that PUP list, okay? Sus. So now they're saying, oh, he's not injured anymore. He can play in the training, whatever. He can practice. And if he doesn't practice, then that's like his own choice. That's weird, okay? It's really weird. So obviously there's some kind of disconnect because the Bears general manager seemed very confused by the statement that like Roquan said, like demanding that trade or whatever, because he's like, oh, I thought we were making progress in the negotiations, so no one knows what's happening. And you want to know what? There's only one way for us to figure out how this whole thing is going to play out.
You're going to leave us on a cliffhanger?
That's where it is
Honey,
right now.
we don't know. We won't know until we get to Soldier Field.
We won't know.
Oh
We have
my
no
God.
idea if Mr. Smith is going to be playing for the Bears this season or not. Is he going to be traded? Is he not? Are they going to reach a settlement on this negotiated contract?
We have no
Whoa.
idea. The only way we will know is if you get our poor dad
To Soldier
Field.
Yes.
And here's the thing. Our dad is already going to Soldier Field. You need to get us to Soldier Field.
So we can ask Roquan Smith ourselves.
Yeah. And we need to talk to the coaches and say, hey, we're open-minded here.
Yeah.
We're just looking for the facts. We're just looking for
And
the
what
real
I
story.
think is really going on here is he's saying, yes, I'm a football player, but I'm a businessman first, right? I need to look out for my contracts first and foremost, and then I'll get on the field.
And we respect a man who brings business to the table.
We really do.
Yeah.
Sure thing.
Yeah. And you know what? We respect a franchise that is willing to also bring business to the table, which is why we respect the Bears so much.
You know what? I am positive that everything's going to work out for the best for both parties.
Can I do a slight left into a Bears adjacent story?
Okay.
Fuzzy Wuzzy?
Well, no, not about him.
Okay.
But so Kristen Cavallari was just on Call Her Daddy.
So almost Fuzzy Wuzzy.
No.
Fuzzy Wuzzer.
No. But so Sophia with an F got Jay Cutler.
Nice.
Yeah. So I just listened to their interview and he kind of addressed, because Kristen said that Jay is toxic. And as a Bears fan, we all know Jay is toxic. He was toxic to our franchise. As just like not letting us win ever, you know?
I mean, look, it's not
He
just
didn't-
his fault.
He did not let us win.
Okay.
There's no I in team, but like there is definitely not an
So are you going to tell Jay that to his face when he's on our podcast?
I respect Jay so much.
Okay.
And if he wants to come on this podcast, he's more than welcome.
And you're going to tell him to his face that he
Well, here's
was
the thing.
toxic to the franchise for not letting us win?
I take that all back. I don't know what Jay Cutler did to us.
Okay.
Because I don't watch. I watch the games. Okay.
Okay.
Like I am saying a lot of bad things right now. Okay. Here's what I know.
Him's nervous.
My hand just started sweating. Here's what I know. I respect Jay Cutler. I respect Kristen Cavallari. I respect the Chicago Bears. Now, I don't know if Jay Cutler was the best quarterback we've ever had, but also I don't know any of our other quarterbacks. So, like, what am I to know?
Right.
But I do respect that he went on Sophia with an F's podcast.
Are there any hot takes?
No, he kind of addressed the whole Kristen saying that Jay was toxic, and he was just like, oh, her story's changed over like the last 2.5 years. But it's also probably like now she's comfortable saying like the real, like her truth. And also I think it takes you a while to process things. Like as a divorcee myself, I'm like, oh, well, there's probably some other underlying issues here rather than just like the main issue.
And with them being like public, you know, like famous people, she doesn't want to like drag someone through the mud.
Well, he felt like she was dragging him through the mud.
Yeah.
I also feel like none of us lay people are going to get the full story, right? We weren't in the marriage.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And I just don't think that they, as two individuals, were good as a couple.
Yeah. And
you know?
also, like, I am Team Kristen forever and always. So this is just hard for me.
No, I'm Team Kristen, but I also really like Jay Cutler. I thought he was really funny as a Jay Cutler, you know, but the more I was watching him on Very Cavallari, I was like, okay, he's really funny, but also I don't see how they mesh together.
And here's the thing about life. Like, we don't have to be Team Kristen or Team Jay. We can be Team Kristen and Team J.
Exactly.
And that's
what I'm saying.
And that's what we do at Your Poor Dad. We've just solved things as we talk them out.
Yeah.
So that's where my conclusion to the story.
Yeah. We play for both teams.
Yeah.
Nice. Do you have any thoughts or comments on the whole Kevin Federline?
Yes. I think
videos?
Kevin Federline is a fucking piece of shit. And I think that him posting those private videos is disgusting.
Wait.
Especially after everything Britney's gone through. What a garbage person.
Could you tell the boomers what's going on?
Kevin Federline released some videos that his sons took of Britney yelling at them. And it is not great, but it's also like not bad. If you've ever like been around Southern people who are not like the most sophisticated, then you've probably been yelled at like that.
It also just seems, first of all, not a hot take. I think Kevin Federline is a loser.
A fucking loser.
And then this just like brings back that conversation of, oh yeah, Kevin Federline is a loser.
Yeah.
And I think the part that is just really sad to me, first of all, Britney still cannot catch a break, okay? That's really sad. But I think what's even worse for me is that now we're bringing in, you know, that there had to be like talks between like Kevin against Britney with his sons being like, oh, well, if your mom ever is mad at you or whatever, like you should film it. Like I'm telling, there must have been conversations or something like that. And now we're like releasing videos that the sons made. It's weird. It's creepy.
You're a man. You're an adult. Own up to your own shit and deal with it privately.
Yeah, if you're worried about your kids' well-being, then you deal with that on your own. You don't need that. There's nothing public about that at all.
No, it is idiotic. It's loser behavior, and he's trash.
Straight trash.
Straight trash.
No, and him's nervous that he's about to stop getting
His money. Yeah.
What's it called? Alimony? Child support? Probably
Whatever.
child support.
Just Britney's hard-earned money that he, as a backup dancer, never would have seen in his life.
Do you know that he was on One Tree Hill?
He was? That is why I
for a couple
hate-
episodes, and I was appalled. I'm like, ew. He played such a gross character
That's
too.
the kind of quality television that One Tree Hill is.
Relax. So was
Yeah.
Pete Wentz, okay? And he's not trash.
Okay. Let's move on.
Anyways,
What's our topic of the week?
our topic is embarrassing
School stories.
and awkward school stories.
Which, as a child, is very easy to embark on.
It really is. I also, as I was thinking of some stories, because a lot of my stories are pretty quick to tell.
Regale us with one.
It just reminded me that I think my entire years in school were just like one big awkward mess.
Yeah.
And it's really hard to just remember everything because like every day I was just like a walking ball of awkward. And I'm like,
feel
well,
like-
that's my life.
I feel like I was awkward too, but like in such a different way than you. Like you just like were so awkward.
I think that you, Jade, like compartmentalized it. You're like, oh yeah, I'm feeling awkward, but I'm gonna like, once you knew that you should like straighten your hair and stuff, you're like, okay, I could not present as awkward. I could
Right.
feel awkward, but I don't have to
Present awkward.
feel it like really, you know.
It like came out of Paige's pores. She just could not.
I couldn't help it. It's
But
like
you were also like cool in other ways. Like you always had boyfriends. I never had boyfriends.
I did always have a boyfriend, but I think it was me having such like pure thoughts or something that I was so oblivious. Like whenever I was so nervous to talk in front of class and I stand up and say, I'm Paige Brandt and I like BJs. And everyone's laughing. I'm like,
I don't
how
get
do
it.
You guys don't like BJs? What do you mean? Pazookies, they're great. And then the teacher has to
Say like
Has to
BJ's
clarify.
Brew House. Yeah.
Same thing happened in college. I'm in my marketing class, so we're obviously learning about Coca-Cola's marketing and how it's just crazy great, whatever. Everyone wants a Coca-Cola. And I get called on to talk, and I said, well, yeah, personally, like, I'm addicted to Coke. And everyone's just, like, laughing. I'm like, why are they laughing? Because we're in college, and everyone thinks I mean cocaine instead of Coca-Cola. Grow up, everybody. Like, I'm sorry my mind does not go there. But both of those things, I can remember the feeling I had like in my arms and my hands, like instant sweat and like numbness.
Panic attack.
I'm like,
A panic attack is coming.
this is it. I have several others, but what do you guys have?
I remember one time, this is like more of just, this is typical, like my brand of embarrassment, is I decided to draw Halloween pictures for your class. And so I was like doing like different Halloween things. And I was like a pumpkin and then a mummy. And then I started like running out of ideas. So I was like dead cheerleader, dead like soccer player. And I was just like trying,
Everyone's dead.
everyone is dead. And
Anything's
so-
scary if they're dead.
yeah, and I was like, that's just what we dress up as for Halloween, so whatever. And then I got called to the principal's office, and they were like, thank you so much for drawing a picture for every kid in Paige's class, but like this is morbid, and we've had parents complain. And I had like blood coming out of their faces and stuff.
Hey, that's so sweet
I
that you did
know.
that though.
I thought it was really nice.
Honestly, I still think that's really nice.
And it's also like the time that I taught your cheer
That's what I was thinking
class, the dance to
of. I wanna
cowboy.
be a cowboy.
And then it was just like
the
a little
body-
like
the
body roll. And then everyone complained because it's Texas.
And me and my 8th grade friends were like, this is a high school dance. We're so excited. We're so
Sexy.
hot.
We're sexy girls. And you have like braces.
Braces, like really short hair because I donated it to Locks of Love. So it had to be like really
did.
That's so nice.
We're
Yeah.
such a nerd.
So it was before I had started like getting highlights or anything. So I was like, oh, I really want to donate my hair. And they had to cut off a lot more than I thought they were going to. So it was just like really awkward, one length. Really like not even like a cute brown. It was just like my natural brown.
Like a blonde brown.
Yeah, like a just like really dirty kind of like do you need to go take a shower? I don't know. Like and the braces, and I was pale white. Pale white. Mom will occasionally, she sends pictures of our scrapbook sometimes, and there's that era of my life, there are so many pictures. I'm like, God,
Videos.
please, we need to just get rid of those.
Oh, never.
Do you have any embarrassing things that come to mind?
Yeah. I remembered one when you guys were on the TikTok lab and it was something about someone throwing up. It all came rushing back to me because in 7th grade we had athletics in the morning. And I'm not a very athletic person. Maybe I was actually sick. Who knows? But I was like, I'm going to throw up. But I'm obviously not going to throw up in front of everyone. So instead I held it in. I was like, it would be so embarrassing if I threw up in front of all the girls in the girls' locker room. So I was like holding it in. And then the boys' locker room and the girls' locker room were next to each other. So like when we would get released from athletics, like the bell would ring and then like we'd all walk to each other. So you could like walk with like your guy friends, whatever, to class. And like as the sea of girls and the sea of boys are meeting, I'm like in the front and I just like barfed. And I remember one kid in particular going, ah, and he's like pointing at me and like he's horrified. I can't hear anything anymore. I can just like see everyone being like, ah, and my best friend's behind me chasing me with like a trash can because she can't keep up because I'm like barfing on the way to the nurse's office because I can't stop. So then I'm sitting in the nurse's office and mom was at work so she couldn't come get me right away. I was standing up and walking like as I was barfing, so you know it's on me. And that's the day that all the 8th graders had to come through the nurse's office to get their like backs checked for scoliosis. So all of the 8th graders came in and they're like, what are you here for? And I'm like, nothing.
I threw up all over myself.
I had, remember that guy I had the biggest crush on that you had in your theater class?
Yeah, he was a cutie.
I markedly remember him being in there being like, what's that smell? I was like, oh my God, it's me and my barf.
That's disgusting.
That happened to me one time, but it is really not my fault. I had this math teacher who was just such a stickler on not letting anyone go to the bathroom. And it was my morning math class. I raised my hand. Hey, can I go to the bathroom? No. Raise my hand again. Okay, but I really need to go to the bathroom. And she says no. And so I just stand up to walk out to go to I need to leave. And she's like, she stops me and I just start vomiting. And then she starts yelling at me to run to the bathroom. And I'm like, what do you want from me? The embarrassing part about that is she sent one of my friends to the bathroom to walk me to the nurse to make sure I was okay. And I was like, did everyone see my barf? She was like, yeah, we all know you had scrambled eggs this morning. And I was like,
disgusting.
You did not need to say that.
Honestly, that could have been scrambled anything once it comes back up, you know?
Okay, can we not?
Okay,
What?
but something that you saying mom wasn't there, whatever, takes me back to kindergarten because I was wearing my overall dress and my dumbass thinks that I have to go pee. So I must undo my like overall straps to bring my dress down instead of just fucking lifting the dress up, right?
I feel like you were a very interesting child.
I was. But I'm panicking.
Things work one way and that's the way they work.
I really have to pee and I'm struggling. I can't get
How do you not know how to just like lift?
Jade, I don't know. I think because
also,
like
maybe
mom,
because she was 5.
and like mom put it on and like helped like buckled the straps. I'm like, oh, that's the, I don't know.
I feel like
Stupid.
that is a total pace.
So anyways, I pee my pants, right? My dress, whatever. And then I'm mortified. So I'm trying to clean it up, right? But in kindergarten, they don't have rolls of toilet paper. It's like those little squares. Yeah. So I'm just like taking these little squares at a time, trying to like clean up my pee. And the other kindergarten teacher came in to check on me because I've been gone for a very long time. She's like, Paige, honey, are you okay? And I'm like on the floor. She's like, oh my gosh, like you do not have to be doing that. And I'm crying. I feel so bad that I made a mess. I'm embarrassed. I've peed my pants. She walks me to the nurse and we try to call my mom. She doesn't answer. Why are you not answering? At this point, like she didn't have a job. Why are you not answering?
Okay. Yeah, you're literally a stay-at-home mom. Your one job is to take care of me.
And so they call her like 2 or 3 times, no answer. And my little like 5-year-old self is like raging inside because like, why are you not, I am mortified. Why are you not answering the phone? So then they call our emergency contact, which was not dad. It was a family friend.
Yeah.
and she brings clothes for me to wear, but her daughter was older than I was, and at that time that's like kind of a big difference in like sizing. So it was show and tell day, and thank goodness I brought my baton to show, and because she brought me like a baton sweatsuit that was 2 sizes too big, and it was like the kind, and so I'm just like trying to like roll up my sleeves, and I'm like trying to do show and tell, and then mom finally like gets there to pick me up, and I remember just like looking at her,
And you're like,
where were you? And she's like, I'm sorry, I was doing something. It doesn't matter.
At the grocery store. She wasn't taking a nap.
she was doing her job.
I was 5. I didn't understand. I just thought, you left me. I had to wear this outfit
what?
2 sizes too big.
I vaguely remember like getting word of it because we were at the same elementary school and word travels fast.
Yo, Jade Brandt's sister, Peter
No, and I
Pants.
remember that one of like the teachers or like the volunteers were like, "Oh, Paige had an accident," and I remember being like, "Oh no!" Like having to go like check on you or something.
You did come check on me.
I did.
Yeah, you did.
So nice.
You came to it was after I was already changed into my like huge ass outfit, and it was before I was about to do show and tell, and you were very nice. You were like, it's okay, Paigey, like this works out great because you're in your baton outfit and you're doing it, whatever. And I remember being like, yeah, like this,
Yeah, of
like,
course, I planned this.
This was an outfit change. I planned this.
I didn't pee my pants. This was an outfit change. Yeah, you were very nice.
Thank you.
But now that I'm thinking about it as a 30-year-old, like how the fuck did word travel that fast?
It was a small school.
They were
Yeah,
probably
but
like, we
that means
can't
an
get a hold of her
adult. The
mom. We
parents,
should probably like
everyone knew
reach out to
us.
her sister.
Everyone knew us.
HIPAA. They shouldn't have divulged
It's
that.
not a HIPAA violation.
PP accidents are health related.
Should we read some listener stories?
Okay.
Good job.
Okay, so we have an update from our story from last week of the girl who got ghosted before her trip in
Bowie.
Petty.
The Real City of Lights. She reads, I'll answer any questions you have. The follow-up was that a year later, I made a fake Instagram account, catfished him, and ghosted him on a fake date while me and my best friend sat in the back of the bar with hats on and watched him squirm.
Genius.
That is wild.
I still lost $5,000 on the non-refundable trip, though, and found out that he went to Thailand by himself on our flight credits. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. His name is Beep. And me and my friends low-key think he's gay, which would have been fine. We could have gone as gay besties. He moved... What?
I was going to say something like that would track. Like
Yeah.
if he was nervous to actually admit that, something like that would make sense to me for him to just like fall off the face of the earth.
Which would be so sad because, like, he'd be in the closet. He'd be used to, like, pretending like this isn't real, pretending like
But
I
that
didn't
also
have a
might be,
trip
like-
planned, pretending like I didn't know that person.
It also might be her wishful thinking,
Oh, yeah.
you know? Mm-hmm. Continue.
Okay. He moved to Atlanta for 5 seconds, but is now back in my hometown.
For 5 seconds.
Still zero contact besides watching the fake date we set up. I did not still go. If I had more than 6 days to get over my mental breakdown, I would have. I paid cash and he paid in points. That's the kicker. He could transfer his points, but I couldn't get my cash back.
That sucks.
There's a lesson in that. Pay with points.
We were together almost a year, and no, I never cheated on him, not even remotely close, ever. We did fully catfish him into that date, though. It was toxic, but solid. He sat there for like an hour waiting for Casey. Oops. And then you said, this is juicy, like, thank you. And she said, feel free to share the follow-up. I know people had questions on the TikTok comments. It's all good. I actually ended up with my best friend and love of my life and moved to Maryland with him and got my happily ever after, and got a really good story out of it.
That's amazing. We love a happily ever after. The catfishing thing is super toxic, but
Warranted.
Pre-therapy Paige.
it sounds like he kind of deserved it.
sounds like
you lost $5,000 on a trip to Paris and wanted some kind of justice. That's a small price he paid to sit at a bar for an hour.
Yeah.
I also think I love your confidence to like follow through with like actually going to the bar, because I could see myself creating the account, matching, talking a little bit, and then being too scared to actually show up. Mm-hmm. So, honestly, good for you.
Yeah.
You deserve that.
All right. So now we're going to read your embarrassing school stories.
Okay. This was a side note on one of the emails, but I liked this part. Once in class, a girl in front of me dropped her pencil, so I picked it up for her and gave it back. She, of course, thanked me, and I guess in my head I had been debating saying, "You're welcome," or "No problem." So I said, "Your problem." And she made a weird face and then turned around, and I was mortified, and I've never talked to her since.
Your problem.
Your problem.
Your problem.
Next time that's your problem, I'm not picking it up. This happened not to me, but to my classmate in 7th grade. This was the grade that we were taught sex ed. The girls and guys were separated to be taught by a female teacher and by a male teacher. We were allowed to ask whatever questions or say anything we wanted to our teacher. I think at this point, most of us thought we knew what we needed to know regarding our body parts or whatever, so people didn't bother to ask much. Well, for one class period, our classes were joined back together, the guys and the girls together, and our teacher was talking about female anatomy. One of the boys in my class raised his hand and asked, "What's a vagina?" And everyone started laughing at
Oh
him.
my God, that's me. And everyone laughed. But what is a vagina?
But also, what were they talking about in sex ed? That's the anatomy.
Okay, but also, what if it was like my sex ed, I only learned about the female anatomy? It was like, oh, you're gonna have a period, and then when you have your period, you're able to get pregnant, and this is like how, like, they didn't say anything about the male anatomy. That's why I didn't know what a boner was.
I didn't know what a boner was. I didn't even know what my vagina was. I didn't know there was a pee hole and a vagina hole.
I didn't know that either.
I didn't know, like, I mean, I think I knew that they were different, but I don't think I really understood it.
Well, I don't think I understood either, but I knew that, like, I had a vagina.
Yeah.
And that vaginas eventually got a period and then, like, could have a baby.
I don't even think
I didn't know details.
I don't think I knew a vagina was like a hole. You know what I mean?
Well, and that's the other thing. I don't think I did either, because that was kind of like, yeah, like a woman and a man can make a baby, but like how? You know, like that was like the well, because one has a vagina, one has a penis. Okay, cool. And that's like where I left it. But like, what? But then how?
Yeah, but like I didn't ask any follow-up questions.
Me either.
I was like, okay.
But then, like, what are those logistics?
Yeah, I never thought about that. And then I remember Mom told me once, I was like, how will I know I'm like gonna get a period? She's like, you won't feel it. It'll just like happen. Like, and I'm like, when I'm peeing? She's like, yeah. So then
or when you're sitting in class.
But so then I got it into my mind that like it happened when you peed. And then if I wasn't gonna feel it, I was like, okay, one day when I pee and I don't feel it, that's when the period happens.
Should we talk about our first periods?
Maybe later, but we're talking about...
No, I mean, like, next episode.
I don't think we can have a full period episode.
No.
Okay.
There's a lot of funny stuff. Okay. Well, I mean, this person attended a Christian school, so his parents probably sheltered him a little bit too much. This next story.
Okay.
I have an embarrassing school story that involves one of the Brandt sisters. Oh. For many Halloweens, Jade and I always had elaborate costumes planned. We dressed as characters from the Addams Family, the Pink Ladies from Grease, and 60s Go-Go Girls that involved a costume with tons of paper clips. Why paper clips? Good question. I'm still trying to figure that out.
That was good.
In other words, they were costumes that made more sense when we were together than when we were apart. In 8th grade, we decided to carry on the tradition. We dressed as Lucy and Ethel because I Live Lucy was a favorite TV show of Jade's. My mom lent me a vintage dress and sweater, and she curled my hair and pinned it up so it looked more Ethel-like. See photographic proof below. We crushed it. But that costume confidence melted away once we got to school. Kids either didn't dress up at all or went for more current pop culture references like Limp Bizkit Girls or some other trend from MTV.
Wait, I love that.
Jade and I didn't have every class period together, so when I was off by myself in a class, people kept asking me if I was an old lady for Halloween. I was mortified. This was the age where my self-consciousness really blossomed. I would get easily embarrassed and was shy around anyone that wasn't a close friend. One class of mine had a lot of the cooler kids in it, and I had to explain to them that I was Ethel from a classic TV show and Lucy/Jade was in another class. I'm sure I had to explain what I Love Lucy was too. I couldn't wait to get out of class and reunite with Jade so people could understand the costume. Looking back, it was a solid costume, but back then I didn't like being referred to as an old lady. Damn those teenage anxieties.
I totally remember that because Amanda and I, this is Amanda from, she actually has her own podcast, Wee Bit Obsessed.
I love it.
And it's so funny because her and her friend Janae read their book or their journals. They would like journal back and forth to each other. It's so hilarious. And so Amanda and I feel like we were like, I don't want to say we were old souls because we weren't, but like I just think we liked like more like retro things.
Well, I also think it has a lot to do with like
Amanda's mom.
Well, I was gonna say like Mom and Caroline were also like really close, and
they were both creative.
They were both very creative, and it was, I feel like you got like us kind of, we obviously were like, oh, like Mom, whatever, but like we still listened to Mom a lot. Like we took a lot of like influence like from
Well,
them.
Mom told us what we were going to be for Halloween every time.
Because she was making the costumes.
Yeah. And so
I made Mom make a full fur cat suit for me. She didn't want to make that. She wasn't like,
okay,
I'm going to.
You were in a different era because Mom told us what we were going to be.
I also really loved piggybacking off of like the you and Amanda, like her little brother Ian, we would all coordinate. We would do things.
Well, and so going back to Amanda's story, I was Lucy from I Love Lucy. So I literally had slept in like curlers and my hair was like literally like curl, like just on my head like this. We'll put in a picture here. And I wore like a full 50s dress and like everyone was wearing like little white camis with like backwards red hat, like Limp Bizkit, because like that was the era of like Fred Durst. And or they were just like slutty this, slutty that, and there was no,
or they were nothing because it's like not
because we're in 8th grade,
yeah,
and who the fuck dresses up?
That's not cool.
And then Mom and Caroline not only dressed us as that, but then I think they came to school on our lunch break and took pictures. I don't know if that's true. I mean, they must have because like Amanda has the picture, and that's some shit our parents would do.
I was gonna say I wouldn't put it past them.
My mom and Amanda's mom dressed up as scarecrows, or no, the
hillbillies.
red hillbillies. And they picked us up on our first day of middle school, which like middle school in Glendora was just like the coolest thing.
Like that whole street.
The whole street was just bred with coolness. Like it was like, it felt like it was like high school. And it really was. It was so cool. And like we were such nerds, so we were just like, how are we gonna navigate like changing classes throughout the day and like this new cool school that's like at the base of the foothills, and like it was just so cool. And then we like leave school and our parents are literally dressed as rednecks with like their teeth blacked out.
I remember that to this day.
And they're like, oh my god, Jade and Amanda were right here.
Howdy, y'all.
Yeah, that was funny. But yeah, Amanda and I feel like we went through like our awkward stages together. I remember
you did.
One time we like all decided to match, which was like cute, but like also the kids at this school, I'm just saying, like they were so much more advanced than us. Like,
well, and that's
they were just cooler.
But and that's where like Amanda's insecurities come in, right? Because it's like you guys as a unit, we've got this. This is cool. This is funny. But then as soon as you get to that campus and you have to go to your different classrooms, it's like, why the fuck did we decide to do this? What the fuck were we thinking? We have to go to separate classrooms?
And I remember one time this girl came up to us and she's like, say, I am Sofa King. We Todd did. And we're like saying it. And then it was just like,
I don't get it.
I don't get it. And then it was just awkward. And then the girl, but middle school was just funny.
Yeah, I don't think you should say that those kids are more advanced than you. I think that it's like they're more insecure than you and are like pushing it down further.
They were more advanced than us. They were like so cool.
No.
Well, I was
Yes.
like, for both of you, I get what both of you are saying.
Like they would go to the beach and they would like skateboard and they would do like cool things. And
So
like,
they didn't get to experience like having a weird, quirky interest in like
No, I'm
this
just
weirdo
saying-
50s sitcom, you know?
why is that bad? I'm just saying like that is the vibe. And then Amanda and I were like nerds.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying either one is good or bad. That is just the facts.
Yeah.
Everyone has to find theirself at some point.
Yeah, and it put some hair on my chest. I'm not mad about it, but it is a fact. Like they were just so much cooler. They were wearing like backwards red hats.
Yeah, and it's like you guys are feeling that awkwardness. Eventually you get older, you're like, yeah, you know what? Like
That was cool.
that was cool of me.
Yeah.
And then the cool kids, they're probably, when they grew up, they're like, that was so lame that I was that basic. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? But thank God I know who I am now.
Well,
you know,
that's
everyone
what I-
has that thing.
That's what I always say, like invest in a personality and invest in real interests. Like, do you think the Limp Bizkit girls have interests? No.
Well, they might now.
I mean, hopefully.
Hopefully now. But at that time, no, because they didn't want to.
Right.
Because that wasn't cool.
Right. All right,
That's
next
wild.
story.
Well, this one's a cold read.
Nice.
First, I found your podcast not that long ago and have spent ungodly amounts of time listening to previous episodes. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
I am a divorcee.
Hell yeah.
Stepsister bond with Jade runs deep. And I don't really like to talk about that toxic and abusive waste of 12 years.
Oh,
Sorry, maybe I would have cut that. But this story is good. One night junior year, I had finally mustered up the courage to lie to my mom about where I was going to spend the night. The real plan was to spend the night with my then boyfriend at another friend's house, we'll call him Kevin, as his parents were gone for the weekend. To speed this along, Kevin's parents came home around 8 p.m. the same day and were quick to tell everyone. There was like 8 of us that we could not stay the night. Well, I was dead set on spending that night with my boyfriend. The other friends all left to head home, but not us. We asked Kevin if he had a pillow and blankets and we would figure it out. We ended up sleeping at the baseball dugout at our high school.
Whoa.
Mind you, our high school was in an awful neighborhood. I don't know what we were thinking. We were woken up about sunrise by the sprinklers, not only turning on, but spraying directly at us. We jumped up and started running. Soon we were laughing and wandering the campus, still not ready to leave each other. Oh, this is romantic. I remembered seeing a teacher put on the code to the staff bathroom, so I tried it and it worked. About 30 seconds after, the school alarm went off. In my defense, I am not certain on the reason it went off. I mean, it probably was.
Probably.
We started running again, and at this point, we decided we both should definitely go home. Well, Monday comes around, and the talk of the school is how a pillow and blankets were found in the dugout. It caused so many speculations and giggles, and we just laughed along with everyone else. Maybe a little bit too much and too premature. The pillow and blankets were brought to the office, and what we didn't know is Kevin's last name was written on the pillow's tag.
It's like Dad.
That is dad.
Kevin was called into the office and questioned about his home life, and his parents were called for a wellness check as no one could understand why there was a need to sleep in the dugout.
Oh my God.
Kevin had to explain to his parents that when they kicked everyone out a few nights before, he had loaned a pillow to a friend. His parents demanded he tell them who, but he didn't. Kevin really took the heat for that one, but never let us live it down when we came around. In fairness, who writes their last name on a pillow?
Dad.
Dad. Well, if you go to sleepovers, you used to do that.
Okay, first of all, Kevin is a real one.
Yeah.
What a nice friend. CPS came to his house and he still didn't say. He was like, I'm ready to.
Oh my God, I'd be like, it was
sing
her.
like a canary. I'd be like, I will tell you everything.
Oh yeah,
Easily.
if mom asked me, I'd be like, this is everything. Do you want their parents' number? It's right here. And then this is everyone who was there.
And then honestly, I know we're talking about this incident, but let me just go ahead and tell you about what happened last weekend and what
'Cause
we
you're
were planning on doing next weekend.
You were scary as fuck.
Dang, Kevin. Hell yeah.
I'd be like, well, you kicked them out and did you want them to freeze to death? I
Also,
gave them pillow and blanket.
I probably would have been the one to like walk up and say, it wasn't Kevin, it was me.
Oh my God.
I need to
martyr
take,
syndrome.
I have to take responsibility for these actions. Because
Well,
I'm so
that's-
scared.
That's crazy. I think we should talk about next week a time that you were like grounded, like your biggest grounding, because I could talk about that for days.
I only have one.
Does anyone remember when I was grounded?
Were you ever grounded?
I don't know.
We'll find out next week.
I know when you should have been grounded.
I'm going to call our poor mom.
Okay.
She'll
Well,
know.
thank you guys so much for writing in. Make sure to write in stories of how you got grounded and why you got grounded.
Yep.
And
And you can send those to yourpoordad@gmail.com.
yeah, I know we said you can DM us, but the DMs are getting a little crazy. So if you could just email them, that would be amazing. And then Bailey will vet them and read them.
And I'll be more likely to read them if they have a fun subject line.
Oh.
Not to get too picky.
Every week you get pickier and
Yeah, you
pickier.
do.
Well, then it's just like high school story, high school story, high school story. And it's like, well,
that's
how
part
am
of
I
the
going to
job.
choose?
That's part of the job.
Also, do not forget to tell your friends about the podcast.
Yes.
Like Jade said, that's the only way we're going to grow. We want to grow. We want to keep doing this for you guys. So tell your friends we need more stepsisters. Make sure that you rate us and make sure you follow us on everything on Instagram and TikTok. It's Your Poor Dad Pod. And always do not forget to go to the Chicago Bears Instagram or TikTok and just tag us. Just tag at Your Poor Dad Pod so we can get our poor dad to Soldier Field.
Hell yeah, brother.
And anything else?
No, you just clean the house.
All right, well then we'll see you guys next week.